Hello students, today we will talk about the new chapter electricity. So in this chapter we will talk about different definitions like electric current, electric potential, potential difference, resistance, resistivity or specific resistance, conductance, conductivity. So all these things we will discuss in first part of this chapter. So first let us know what is an electric current. So electric current is nothing but the flow of charges. Flow of charges, maybe the negative charges or positive charges, whatever it is. If there are flow of electrons, we will call it as electronic current. If the flow of positive charges, positive ions, then we will call it as a conventional current. So in general, we will talk about the charges. Okay, flow of charges. So this flow of charges is always counted with respect to time. So rate of flow of charges is called electric current. So what is your electric current now? Electric current or simply current. It is denoted by the letter I and it is a scalar quantity. So this I is nothing but rate of flow of charges. Rate of flow of charges. Let the charges be denoted by Q. Charges may be in coulombs denoted by the letter Q. Rate of flow. Rate means we are always talking with respect to time. Time in seconds. So rate of flow of charges is called electric current denoted by the letter I. So this current is measured by ammeter. Current is measured by ammeter. Connected in series. Now we will see the units of this electric current. So charges are measured in coulombs, and time is measured in seconds. And coulombs by second is called as ampere. So this is the scientist who defined it. Ampere. So according to his name, the units were named ampere. It is denoted by capital A or capital. Now how to define this ampere? Definition of ampere. Current is said to be 1 ampere. The current flow through the conductor is said to be 1 ampere when 1 coulomb of charges flows through the conductor in 1 second. When 1 coulomb of charges flows through the conductor in 1 second, then current flowing through that conductor is said to be 1 ampere. When 1 coulomb of charges flowing through the conductor in 1 second, then current flowing through that conductor is said to be 1 ampere. Here students, right, we'll move ahead. Electric potential. So we talk about electric potential. Electric potential. It is denoted by the letter V. This is also a scalar quantity. It is measured by voltmeter. So potential difference. I'll tell the difference. What is the difference between electric potential and potential difference? Electric potential. So we are bringing a unit positive charge from infinity. No one can go there and check the value, right? So we are bringing a unit positive charge from infinity to a given point in an electric field. So the amount of work done in bringing this positive charge. So we are bringing a positive charge from infinity to a given point. So to bring this, how much amount of work is done is called as electric potential. So electric potential is nothing but the amount of work done in bringing unit positive charge from infinity to a given point in an electric field is called as electric potential. Amount of work done in bringing unit positive charges or unit positive test charges, whatever it is, we are bringing the positive charges. So the amount of work done in bringing unit positive charge from infinity to a given point in an electric field is called electric potential. From infinity to given point. Then what is potential difference? Potential difference. It is the same thing, students. It is the amount of work done in bringing unit positive charges from one point. From one point to another point. Difference. Both the points we know. From one point to another point in an electric field. So it is also denoted by the amount of work done in moving unit positive charges from one point to another point. Here it is from infinity to given point in an electric field. Here from one point to another point in an electric field. One point to another point in an electric field. That is the reason we will write like this. VB minus VA or VA minus VB. Potential difference. We can subtract one value from the other. Okay students? Right now we will talk about the units. So units are, substitute the units of work and substitute the units of charges. Work done is 1 joule by 1 coulomb. Potential difference at the ends of the conductor volts. Potential difference is always denoted in volts. So now potential difference is said to be 1 volt when work done is 1 joule in bringing 1 coulomb of charges from one point to another point. Clear students? In an electric field. So units of potential difference is volt. 1 volt. When we will say that potential difference is 1 volt, when work done, when 1 joule of work is done, in moving 1 coulomb of charges, from one point to another point in an electric field is called, then potential difference across the ends is called 1 volt. Potential difference across the ends is called 1 volt when 1 joule of work is done in moving 1 coulomb of charges from one point to another point in an electric field. So this is what about electric potential and potential difference. Even for electric potential, units are volts. So we have to define what is electric potential and what are its units and the definition of that unit also. We'll move ahead and talk about resistance, electric resistance or simply resistance. Resistance is the opposing force. Someone is opposing. Whom? This flow of charges in a conductor. If the electrons are flowing in a conductor, there is an opposing force or obstruction which will decrease this flow of charges. That obstruction or opposing force for the flow of charges in the conductor is called resistance, denoted by capital R. Resistance. Opposing or obstruction for the flow of charges. Suppose let me consider a conductor or a wire, metal wire. So all the positive charges are closely packed. All the positive charges are closely packed. We know what happens in the metals. And the electrons, valency electrons of each metal will be ejected out and it will be moving from one atom to the other atom. So the electrons are free to move. Electrons are free to move in any direction. When there is no potential difference applied at the ends of the conductor, they are moving in random position. Means they are moving in all directions. They are moving in all directions. Wherever they go, they are moving. So net flow of current is 0. Net flow of current is 0. But when the potential difference is applied, at the ends of the conductor, potential difference I have given, these positive charges will not move, students. They are fixed, closely packed. But these electrons will take the same direction, will orient themselves. They start flowing towards the positive charge. Clear? So what is this? When the flow of charges, when there is a flow of charges, there is an opposing force. What is this opposing force? What is the cause of this resistance? These electrons, when they are moving, they collide with themselves there are collisions taking place. They collide with themselves, or they collide with the walls of the conductor, or they collide with the positive charges. Due to these collisions, their kinetic energy will decrease. Means their motion, the speed will decrease. So there is a decrease in the speed when the electrons are flowing freely. When the free electrons are flowing from one end to the other end of the conductor, there are some collisions taking place. Due to these collisions, the speed is decreased. They are losing their kinetic energy. This energy was released in the form of heat energy. That is the reason why the wires will become hot. The heat energy is released out because of these collisions. So they lost some energy, the speed is decreased, but they are again accelerated by the potential difference across the ends of the conductor. So they again accelerate themselves and start moving. Again due to collisions they decrease. Again they get accelerated, they move. Again decrease, again move. So there is some obstruction. There is some opposing force in the flow of conductor. That is called as resistance. Obstruction or opposing force in the flow of charges is called electric resistance. Now we will talk about Ohm's law. What is this Ohm's law? George Simon Ohm is a German scientist. He gave one statement that current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional. Current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends. So what is this statement tells? Ohm's law. Current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends. Very important, there is a condition when all the physical conditions and temperature are constant. When all of them are constant, this relation will work out. When we are increasing the current flow, potential difference also increases, directly proportional. To remove this proportionality, we are keeping one constant, R, resistance, proportionality constant. So V is equal to IR. If you draw the graph between this potential difference and the current, you will get a straight line passing through the origin because both are increasing simultaneously. If I am increasing current flow, potential difference increases. So we will get the points, and after joining those, we will get a straight line passing through the origin. Slope of this graph will give you the resistance value. Delta V by delta I will give you the resistance. In Ohm's law, or all the ohmic resistors which obey this Ohm's law will have a constant R value for all V and I values. For all V and I values, R is constant. Delta V by delta I will give you the resistance value, your slope. Or delta I by delta V will give you 1 by resistance. Delta R is equal to V by I. Bring this I on the other side. So difference in the potential difference by difference in the current. So just drop the lines onto the x-axis. You can find the difference here. And here also. Find the difference. Delta I and delta V. So finding that, you will get the slope of the graph. For all the values of I and for all the values of V, slope is always constant. R is constant. So all the ohmic resistors means which obey this Ohm's law, in which this relation is true, they all will get the graph having a straight line. Non-ohmic resistors will get a curve. It will not be a straight line passing from the origin. And all the ohmic resistors will have a constant constant resistance value for all the V values and I values. But for non-ohmic resistors, it will be changing. Slope will be changing for different values because it will be a curve. It will be a curve for non-ohmic resistors. So whatever it is, what does the Ohm's law is telling for us? The statement of Ohm's law. The current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends when all the physical conditions and the temperature is constant. From this we got the formula V is equal to R is equal Melting part, 1 volt by 1 ampere is called 1 ohms unit, denoted by omega. Here we are having units in ampere denoted by A, volt denoted by V. Now ohms denoted by omega. Clear, students? So what is resistance now? V by I. General definition is obstruction or opposition offered for the flow of current, for the flow of free electrons in a conductor. Now we can simply say from this using Ohm's law, R is equal to V by I. What is the definition of ohm? Unit ohm. When one ampere of current flowing through a conductor of potential difference 1 volt across its conductor, across its ends, then resistance is said to be 1 ohm. Resistance is said to be 1 ohm. Now we'll go ahead. So this is what about resistance, Ohm's law. Now we'll talk about conductance. Conductance. Reciprocal of this resistance is called conductance, denoted by the letter capital G. So what is conductance? Reciprocal of resistance is called conductance. Units 1 by ohm or ohm inverse. In olden days they used to write reverse of these, students, MHO, mho. Now we are not using that. Ohm inverse is also called as Siemens. So these are the units of conductance. So what is conductance? Reciprocal of resistance is called conductance. Its units are ohm inverse or mho or Siemens. Now we will talk about the factors affecting resistance. The first one is there are some 4 factors affecting resistance. First one is material, nature of the conductor. Material of the conductor. For different substances, different resistance will be there. Because for different substances, different number of free electrons will be there. Large the number of free electrons, less will be the resistance, and it will act as a good conductor. If more number of free electrons are there, it will have less resistance, and it will act as a good conductor of electricity. So for different substances or different materials, we will have different concentration of free electrons. So depending on this, the resistance will vary. And the second factor is length. Resistance is directly proportional to the length of the conductor. Longer the length, more will be the resistance. Longer the length of the conductor, more will be the resistance. Clear? And next one, third point, it depends on area of cross section. R is inversely proportional to area of cross section. Means if it is thick, more area of cross section, less will be the resistance. If it is a thin wire, less area of cross section, more will be the resistance. So it is inversely proportional. And the fourth factor is temperature. More the temperature, more will be the resistance. Because more will be the free flowing electrons. So these are the 4 factors which affect the resistance of a conductor. From this we can easily write like this, students. See, R is directly proportional to L and R is inversely proportional to area of cross section. Combine these two, R is directly proportional to L by A. To remove this proportionality, I am keeping one constant, rho into L by A. This rho is specific resistance. Specific resistance or resistivity. Now we talk about the specific resistance or resistivity. Clear how we got this formula? R is directly proportional to L. R is directly proportional to 1 by A. So combining these two. To remove this proportionality, we can write constant rho called as specific resistance. Proportionality constant called as specific resistance or resistivity. So now we will discuss about specific resistance. Specific resistance denoted by the letter rho, or we call it as resistivity. So what is this rho now? So let us get the formula for this rho. So what we got so far? R is equal to rho into L by A. So bring this L and A onto the other side. So rho is equal to R into A by L. Okay, we'll get the definition now. Suppose if we are using a conductor of unit area of cross section and unit length, if this is unit area of cross section and of unit length, then what happens? Specific resistance is called as resistance. Specific resistance will be equal to resistance of the conductor. So what is specific resistance, students? It is the resistance of the conductor of unit length and unit area of cross section. Resistance of the conductor of unit length and unit area of cross section. Unit length and unit area of cross section, or unit cubic conductor. You can tell like that also. So now what are the units of this specific resistance? What is the definition? It is the resistance of the conductor of unit length and unit area of cross section. Of unit length and unit area of cross section. It is equal to the resistance of unit length and unit area of cross section. Now we will see the units. So for specific resistance units, for R, for resistance units are ohm, for area of cross section meter square, for length meter. So ohm meter. So what are the units? Ohm meter or ohm centimeter. Lower units, ohm meter or ohm centimeter. So units of specific resistance or resistivity. Okay. Now we will go ahead and see the factors affecting this specific resistance. Factors affecting. Will this length affect, students? No, because we have already fixed. We have specified the length, unit length. We have specified the length. Length is equal to 1. We have specified this area of cross section also, of unit area of cross section. So length and area of cross section will not affect the specific resistance. So only thing is material of the medium will affect. For different material, different specific resistance will be there. Different material in the sense for conductors, for semiconductors, for insulators, for alloys. For different materials, different specific resistance, and also depends on temperature. More the temperature, more will be the specific resistance. So depending on this temperature, there are some materials where the specific resistance will increase with increase in temperature, remains constant with increase in temperature, or decreases with increase in temperature. So let us see some of the examples for that. So now, what is specific resistance, students? Specific resistance is equal to the resistance of the conductor of unit length and unit area of cross section. So we saw the factors. So it affected by material of the medium, and also the temperature. So now we will see how the temperature affects this resistance or specific resistance. So when temperature is increasing, this specific resistance also increases for pure metals. When temperature is increasing, there is no change. Specific resistance or the resistance remains constant for some alloys like Constantan, manganese, Eureka or German silver. So all these are the examples where temperature increases and specific resistance remains constant. And the third category, temperature increasing. When temperature is increasing, specific resistance decreases for carbon filament. Carbon filament of the bulb. So these are the effects of temperature on resistance or specific resistance. Now we'll go ahead and see conductivity. What is conductivity? Resistivity means this one, specific resistance. Now we are talking about conductivity. The reciprocal of specific resistance, reciprocal of resistivity is called conductivity. So what are the units for this one? 1 by ohm meter, nothing but ohm inverse or meter inverse. Ohm inverse is also called as Siemens meter inverse. Siemens meter inverse. Clear? Now we'll talk about superconductors. Superconductors. There are some conductors when we are decreasing the temperature, resistance also decreases and becomes zero at what particular temperature. That particular temperature is called critical temperature. That is different story. So when temperature is decreasing, the resistance also decreases and becomes zero. When it becomes zero, when resistance of the conductor becomes zero, then that conductor behaves as superconductor, zero resistance, called as superconductors. So mercury will behave as superconductors. Mercury will behave as superconductor below 4.5 Kelvin. And lead will behave as superconductor below 7.25 Kelvin. And niobium will behave as superconductor below 9.5 Kelvin. So far superconductors are very few because to maintain such a low temperature is very difficult. So these are the superconductors which offer zero resistance at a critical temperature, at very low temperatures. Clear students? These are the some of the examples. So these are the some of the technical terms what we will be using in this chapter when we'll go ahead. So we'll go ahead into the concept in the next class.